Hi everybody, welcome to Social Food Network. I'm Chef Simon Miller, hope we're all keeping well. We're jumping into some Christmas crackers today. I've promised you guys all over social media we're doing some Christmas crackers. Before we jump into what we're doing today, I'm just going to say please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our videos. Ring that little bell for notifications and you'll receive all our Christmas specials. So, probably the most important today, we're doing stuffing. So homemade stuffing. This is going to be a sage and onion stuffing. We're going to flavour this with some chestnuts, obviously sage, onion, and a little bit of cranberry sauce. So what do we need for it? Down the front I've got my ingredients. I've got some sausage meat. So this is just from our local butcher. It usually comes in these plastic sleeves. We'll just squeeze that out. So that's our pork sausage meat. Some nice streaky bacon. So if you were making this to stuff inside something, you don't obviously need streaky bacon. What we're going to do is kind of make a sort of big sausage of it, and we're going to roll it in the bacon to make it extra tasty. And then on the other plate, we've got some onion, obviously important for sage onion stuffing. The beautiful sage, some thyme, which we're just going to use as aromats, and some these chestnuts. These are pre-cooked chestnuts, so you can buy these again anywhere. These are just vacuum packed chestnuts. Some cranberry sauce, so for a little bit of sweetness, we can add the cranberry. And then on the other side, we've just got a little bit of butter, obviously our seasonings and a bit of olive oil. So first things first, I'm going to get the pan nice and hot. Okay, so this is where it all starts. You've got to put a lot of love into these onions. This is going to give you a real good base flavour to the stuffing. If you miss this bit out, it's quite important. So we need to make sure we get this bit right. So get our pan nice and hot. While that's getting hot, we're just going to chop our onion. Okay, so nice sharp knife. Use your fingers, as in previous videos, as a nice guide. Plus. I'm quite generous with the oil, and then we're going to go in with some butter. And again, same with the butter, quite generous. Let's get everything started. Okay, so while that's melting, and go in with our onions. I'm also going to chop 2 cloves of garlic to go in here as well. So this recipe is very adaptable. If you didn't want to do sage and onion, you can do the apricot, classic apricot stuffing. You know, you can put anything in this, basically, just be lemon and thyme. You was doing sort of roast chicken and you want something a bit different, you don't have to do sage and onion. So these onions, they're going to sweat down and they're going to start to caramelise. It's going to probably take around sort of 10 to 15 minutes, so don't lose confidence with it, just keep going and they will start to brown up. So just before we go any further, I'm just going to slice some garlic. And you know, you kind of want it similar size to the onions. It doesn't have to be super fine. If you're not confident with chopping, you can always just use a grater. It's absolutely fine. Wonderful. Okay, so not super fine, but fine enough. Into the pan. Okay, so like I say, this will take a bit of time. So what we need to get into the pan now is some seasoning. So some cracked black pepper, quite important, be quite generous, and a nice bit of salt. The salt is going to help bring all the water and moisture out of the onions, so they're going to caramelise quicker. Okay, and like I say, this is probably going to take sort of 10 to 15 minutes. We're just going to go really slowly with it now, start to get that good colour on them. So as you can see from the onions now, they're starting to really brown. This is kind of the colour we're going for. We do need it a bit more, so we're just going to keep an eye on that while we're finishing off. And now we're going to get the sage and the chestnuts ready. Okay, so just pick this sage down. So just make sure you keep an eye on your onions as well. After all that time of sort of slowly cooking them down, you don't want to burn them now last minute. So we're going to keep an eye on them. And then we're just going to thinly slice the sage up. Okay, so sage is done. Onions are pretty much there now, they look lovely, so we're just going to turn them off and we're going to get our chestnuts ready. So just thinly slice the chestnuts Chestnuts are roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your toes. Okay, so these are nice and sliced. You might not need all those chestnuts there. I'm going to add this to the pan now, so it's quite important to do this. You just want to release all those kind of natural oils from the chestnut and all those aromas. And same with the sage. Okay, so you want to get all the flavours out of the sage. So it's quite important to get these in the pan just to warm them through. Okay, I'm just going to stir that in now. So you can't smell, but it smells absolutely fantastic. And you can see beautiful colours in the pan. So I'm just going to warm that through a little bit more and then we're done with that. So it's quite important now, there will be a little bit of extra kind of oil and butter in there, so we're just going to pour that into a sieve, let all that oil drip out. This obviously needs to be cold before we can add it to our pork mince, so that just let that cool for sort of 5-10 minutes or so. So that's all wilted down now, all the aromas are there, so it's just straight into the sieve. And this is going to make the most amazing filling for our stuffing. And all we're going to do now is just make the mix. So this, quite simply, straight in. Then we're going to go in with the cranberry sauce. So depending on how you kind of like your stuffing, I do like it quite sweet, so I'm going to be quite generous with the cranberry sauce. I'm going to provide a spoon here. So I'm going to be quite generous with the cranberry sauce, so sort of 2 to 3 spoonfuls in here. So it's going to give it a lovely colour, and obviously it's going to taste really good as well. Salt and pepper, very important. Again, cracked black pepper. Some nice Maldon sea salt. And then it's just a case of getting your hands in there and giving it a good mix. Some people do put kind of breadcrumbs, or they kind of put something in it to thicken it, but I just quite like it au natural without any of that. So you can already see the colours are beautiful. The lovely green from the sage, nice colour from the cranberries. So I'm just going to give that a really good mix up. Wonderful. So you can see there, that's all mixed and really nice. So a mix all made, now we're going to roll it. So the best way to roll it is to get a nice big roll of cling film, lay it out flat. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to roll this in some smoky bacon. You could roll it in some pancetta or some Serrano, however you prefer, but we're going to go for that smoky bacon flavour today. So all we're going to do is we're going to lay that out on the cling film. One piece at a time. You alternate the rashes a little bit, so sometimes there's a thicker and a thinner end. If you just alternate those, and then you get a nice even covering on the cling film there. So last one here, perfect. And with our hand, we're going to add the sausage meat. So you want a nice generous amount. Depending on how thick you want it, you can go as thick as you want. I kind of like it sort of, that kind of size, not too thick but not too thin. So just follow the whole width of the bacon that you've got on your sheet here, in your cling film. There we go. We're going to use the cling film to roll the stuffing up, okay? So get the edge and roll it up and over. When you do that, use your hands to push the bacon down, so you get to here. And then you can kind of just roll it with your hands over. Okay, and we're going to slide it forward a little bit, okay, so it's nearer the edge this side, and then we're going to use the cling film, and this is going to get a really nice sausage shape. So back over with the cling film, okay, so you can already see it's sort of starting to get a nicer shape there, and then all we're going to do is roll this up quite loosely to start, and then we're going to stretch the cling film out, and then we're going to slowly start to tighten it up. So this will basically just get us a really nice kind of round sausage shape. So be quite generous with the cling film, it looks a lot, but it will definitely show the rewards later on. So once we've done that, sharp knife, just cut through your cling film. Not on the kitchen counter, or the wife will have my guts. Roll it forward, and then all we're going to do is pick it up, and then obviously you've got two ends. So you pinch at the end here and you kind of roll through. Okay, so just turn the sausage as you roll in, keep pinching tight, and then all you do is just tuck them underneath, and that's one stuffing long. Okay, so obviously we're going to do the other ones exactly the same, and what we need to do with this is we do need to sort of chill it. So we're just going to bob it in the fridge for anywhere up to an hour. It's perfect, and then we'll show you the next steps after that. Right everybody, so the stuffing has now had around an hour in the fridge to firm up. So I've got it on my board here. I've just unwrapped it from the cling film, so you can see it's held its shape really nicely, nice sort of sausage shape. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to pan roast it. So we're going to start with a little bit of oil in a pan, nice and hot. So all we're going to do is just colour the bacon or the pancetta around the outside, and then we're going to add some aromats, so a little bit of the thyme that we had earlier, some garlic and some butter, into an oven tray, and then we're going to roast it for around 15 to 20 minutes in the oven so it's nicely cooked. Okay? Because it's sausage meat and it's not sort of, you know, solid meat muscle, then it obviously doesn't take as long to cook. So we don't need to have it in there for so long. So into a pan, I want to hear a bit of a sizzle. And all we're going to do now is just going to colour all the sides. We're going to roll it around as it cooks, just to colour it all. Wonderful, so we're starting to roast all sides now. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some aromats to the pan, just going to add some nice flavour. We're going to start with some butter, so we're just going to go in with the butter. Roll it in, roll it around. Some beautiful aromatic thyme in. And then these 2 garlic cloves, we're just going to lightly bash them with a knife. I'm going to throw them in as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit of extra flavour to the stuffing. And all we're going to do is going to slowly baste the stuffing there once the butter melts. And then we're going to transfer this to the oven dish like I said, and then we're going to pop it into the oven. Okay, wonderful. So now we've got the beautiful stuffing in our oven dish. We've got all our aromats with it, all the butter, all the juices from the pan. We're going to cook this around 180 degrees for sort of 15 to 20 minutes just so it firms up. Okay? Okay, excellent. So now the stuffing is cooked. We've let it rest for a little bit, so just to let all the juices kind of run back into it. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice it and I'm just going to arrange it on the plate just to show you the final product. So a nice sharp knife. This is a slicing knife. So you just want to, I'm just going to slice a little end off there to make it nice and neat. I'm going to take nice slices. Let the knife do the work. Okay, if you open it up, you can see inside there you've got the beautiful sausage meat, you've got the chestnuts, the sage, the cranberry, you can kind of see it all running through. So all we're going to do is we're just going to cut 2 or 3 nice pieces. So when the stuffing is quite, when it's obviously uncooked, it is quite soft, so don't be scared of that, because obviously once the sausage meat kind of cooks and it all firms up nicely, so this is much nicer now. Okay, so I'm just going to onto the plate around so you can see there. And then we're just going to use the little bits of garnish from the pan, so the aromats that we've cooked with, so the roasted garlic here, the beautiful thyme, I've got a couple of sage leaves here that we've thrown in as well. And then just to finish off, we're just going to do a tiny little bit of all the sort of juices that was roasted. So it's just all that sort of goodness that's come out of the stuffing. A little drizzle there. Obviously on the big day you'll have that served with beautiful turkey breast and all your traditional trimmings, but on its own it's still beautiful and delicious. So there's our first Christmas cracker. We are going to come to you with many more over December, so stay tuned, and like I say, please subscribe to the channel, push the bell for notifications to get all the new videos. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you again on Social Food Network. Thank you, bye now.